Welcome to the channel and welcome to Warhammer 40k 8th edition. It's a battle of the bad guys. It's Tyranids versus Death Guard. Today on the channel, my Death Guard warband, known as the End of All Things, will be meeting a splinter of High Fleet Behemoth. In amongst these canyon walls, there are going to be rivers of bugs flowing down these valley floor, meeting the ruinous powers, meeting chaos as it's coming in the other direction. The Death Guard will be deployed up at this table edge. The Tyranids have got this table edge, and there's two objectives down here. There's three in no man's land in the middle, and I've only got one lonely objective up at that end, and we're going to be playing the game Cleanse and Capture. That's the Maelstrom of War game where you draw 3 cards a turn every turn. So Cleanse and Capture, 3 cards a turn. It's 2,000 points each, 2,000 point battle report. The way we're playing this terrain is if you're entirely within a rubble section or on a terrain piece on one of these crags, one of these hills, then you will get the benefit of cover. So if there's a unit of Tyranid warriors spilling down into the rubble and up here, then it will be +1 to your armor save. That's how cover's going to work in this. Big bugs and vehicles obviously can't drive up the side, but they will be able to go up where the steps are. So I'll explain how the cover comes into effect as and when we go through it. And back on the channel again, one more time, is Dave. Looking at the 13th and the Penitent Forge up there. Thanks for turning up one more time. Second time on the channel with his bugs. This time a completely different list, a mixed sort of list. It's going to be very interesting. It's the first time the End of All Things have gone up against something that is non-Imperium. So Death to the False Emperor won't be a thing. And the End of All Things have been doing very well on the channel, so it's going to be interesting to test their mettle against a Xenos force. Let's go and check out these armies. Right, this is 2,000 points worth of Death Guard. It's a single battalion detachment. And in the HQ slots, I've got 2 Malignant Playcasters, and this one with the green puff of smoke will be my Warlord. And I've given him the Corrupted Staff relic, which means he has +1 to his smite, just smite, that's all. And I've also given him the Warlord trait Arch Contaminator. Now Death Guard, when they have plague weapons, re-roll wound rolls of 1 with plague weapons. Arch Contaminator is any Death Guard unit within 7 inches of him re-rolls all wound rolls. So that's quite beef. And as I have a foot slogging army, as there are no transports here, he's going to be in and amongst the mix. So having re-roll all wound rolls, particularly looking at the horde of bugs over my shoulder there that is coming towards me, I'm going to need to get a bit killy. And I've given them both Miasma of Pestilence and Putrescent Vitality. I give them both the same power because that way I don't forget what I'm doing. And I've got a Plague Surgeon with me. And the Plague Surgeon works like this. Basically, re-roll Disgusting Resilient rolls of 1. So on a 5-up Disgustingly Resilient, you ignore wounds. And then if I roll 1s, I can re-roll it and try and get that 5-up, which is nice. It's good. I guess if you re-roll a 1 and then you get another 1, you can't re-roll a re-roll. It's only a 3-inch range, so any Death Guard units within 3 inches of him get to do the re-rolly thing. 2 units of Poxwalkers as screen, and 2 units of 7 Plague Marines, because 7 is Nurgle's number. Blight Launchers, Plasma Gun, and a Power Fist on the Sergeant in both of them. A unit of 7 Death Shroud Terminators, 2 Combi Plasmas, a Blight Launcher, and I've given the Blightlord champion a Flail of Corruption. Now, it says you can change 1 Blightlord Terminator to give him the Flail of Corruption. This guy is a Blightlord Terminator champion. And there's some discussion on the internet about whether you can give champions the Flail of Corruption, but he is a Blightlord Terminator. He shares the unit entry and he has a Blightlord Terminator keyword. So I've given him the Flail of Corruption, because the way that works is instead of his standard 3 attacks, you get D3 attacks per attack. So this guy's got 3 D3 attacks with that flail, which is mean. And these guys can teleport in. Right, unit of 7 of them, as well as the 2 units of 7 Plague Marines, and 3 is also one of Nurgle's numbers. So 3 Fetid Blight Drones with Plague Spitters, and 3 Plague Burst Crawlers with Entropy Cannons and Heavy Sluggers on them. So I have a shooty castle, a slow shambling horde. My only real mobility is the bloat drones, which can zip around movement 10. These guys only move 4 inches, but they can deep strike in. I have some psychic goodness, but Shadow in the Warp is a thing that bugs have, which means it's -1 to my psychic tests if I'm within 18 inches of a synapse creature that has Shadow in the Warp. So let's go and have a look at the bugs. Right, this is 2,000 points worth of Tyranids. It's 2 battalion detachments, which gives 6 command points. High Fleet Behemoth is re-roll charges, which is particularly fitting for this army because there's not a lot of shooting in it at all. Just lots and lots of teeth and claws and fangs. So what am I looking at, Dave?
Okay, the first battalion.
Yes.
Is led by the Hive Tyrant, who's the warlord.
Right.
He's obviously got wings, as you can see. His warlord trait is Monstrous Hunger, which on a roll of 6 when he rolls to wound,
yes,
causes 1 additional damage.
Okay.
His bio artifact is also a Behemoth specific one. He's got the Size of Tyran, which give him +1 strength, +1 attack, and on rolls of 6 to hit,
yes,
he gets to do additional hits, potentially. He's
nice.
such a warlord.
So extra strength, extra attacks, and extra stuff coming into effect. And this is all Behemoth specific stuff.
They are. I thought as we're going Behemoth today.
I like it.
We'll go for that.
Cool.
I've also given him adrenal glands to help his charge.
Right.
And psychic powers.
What does adrenal glands do for the folks that don't know?
Effectively adds +1 to your charge range.
Cool. So he can deep strike in, can't he? 9 inches away, and instead of a 9-inch charge, then that would be an 8-inch charge.
He would, and he can re-roll if he fails.
Because he's High Fleet Behemoth.
That's right.
I like it.
His psychic powers are Catalyst, Psychic Scream, and Smite.
Okay.
So.
Yep. Who's this guy?
That is a Tyranid Prime, which is you don't see very often these days, but I thought, as we're playing Tyranids, we'll have a few Tyranid Warriors on the list. So he's quite a cheap HQ.
Yep.
He's got a Death Spitter, Lash Whip, and Bone Sword, as you can see. Everything in this list is WYSIWYG, so
nice.
It's fairly easy to take care of. The 3 troops.
Gargoyles and...
no, the Gargoyles are a fast attack.
Right, okay.
The 3 troops are the Tyranid Warriors, which
yes,
just have Death Spitters and their Scything Talons.
Yes.
And 2 units of Termagants to act as a screen, 1 of 20 and 1 of 14.
Okay.
Then, as you mentioned, the 20 Gargoyles.
Yeah.
And then we've also got, in heavy support, we've got a Tyrannifex. He's got the Acid Spray, which I'm aware people are saying, why aren't you taking a Rupture Cannon? But my army is all about getting nice and close, so...
Yeah.
I don't have to roll to hit, and dice and me don't get on.
So basically the big long range gun, the Rupture Cannon, is huge in 40k right now. However, your army is all about coming forward, and this is an auto-hitting gun.
It is. So
it fits perfectly with the list, I think. I like it.
And if he stays still, he can still fire it twice.
Can
so
he?
That would be 4d6 automatic hits.
4d6?
4d6.
Nice.
We've also got a Morlock,
yes,
just to pop up at the back and annoy you.
Yes.
And then we've got the flyer choice, the Hive Chrome, which again seem to have fallen out of favour in 40k at the moment, but he can move quite quickly and can be in your lines.
Yes, I can see that this is a very quick come at me brah type of list. Right, this is the other battalion, right?
The 2nd battalion has a Brood Lord.
Yes.
Because then they're quite nasty. And also Old One Eye.
I like Old One Eye.
Yeah, again, he's probably not the most competitive choice, but I've got to think about Carnifexes, so I do like to have Old One Eye there.
But he's a character, and he's less than 10 wounds, so he can't be targeted so long as one little bug is in front of him.
That's exactly right.
Which is nice.
So it does give him some advantages over, say, taking a 2nd Hive Tyrant.
Yes.
The troop choices there, just to fill out the slots, are 24 Hormigants and 2 units of 3 Ripper Swarms.
Why Ripper Swarms?
Because they're cheap. It allows me to fill a 2nd battalion quite easily. And they're also very good at just popping up and grabbing objectives in objective-based games. Because they can burrow in and they can just pop up and get me some points.
They're like your version of Nurglings.
They are. Not quite as cute, but...
Not quite as cute, no. Just sitting on an objective somewhere and score away. And then...
we've got Old One Eye's Bodyguard at the back. We have a brood of 2 Screamer Killers.
Yep.
Which are pretty much standard, apart from they've got Spore Cysts as well to make them -1 to hit.
Nice.
And then just one of your common or garden Carnifex to the right.
Yep. Does Spore Cysts work include shooting and assault?
No, just shooting.
Just shooting. So shooting at these guys, -1 to hit as they come charging forward. Nice, I like it. And a mix, is that a Thornback or a mixed stack effects?
That's just a normal Carnifex, but
cool.
It does have Death Spitters, and it's got the claws, which normally don't hit very well, but if he's next to Old One Eye, that will give him +1 to hit, so yeah, it does mitigate that.
So what we've got in this list is 8 large monstrous creatures with a toughness of high or more, a swarm of little bugs coming flying all the way forward. This list can re-roll charges. We've got Psychers on the Broodlord and on the Hive Tyrant. Does the Tyranid Prime have a psychic power as well?
No, he doesn't.
Shadow of the Warp is -1 to my psychic powers if I'm within 18 inches of a synapse thing. And you've also got instinctive behavior, which really doesn't matter as much anymore. Instinctive behavior is essentially if you're out of synapse range, its minuses to shoot and charge something that is not the closest.
No.
But as long as you shoot and charge the thing that is the closest, it doesn't affect you anymore.
No. Well, I was going to say instinctive behavior actually has a range of 24 inches.
Nice.
From synapse creatures, so
okay.
It's even better than it used to be.
Yep, and with 9 command points, you've got more tricks up your sleeve than me. And with the terrain set up on the table with these huge line of sight block and terrain pieces all over the place, the swarm should be in my lines very quickly. Let's go on to deployment. We're deployed for this 2,000 point game of cleanse and capture. The Tyranids spreading out all across the line, and there is a Morlock and Ripper swarms in reserve, so they come from the ground, and Gargoyles and a winged Hive Tyrant coming from the sky, as well as charging between these canyon walls. The Tyranids will be coming from all angles, and as we can see, Dave was very careful about where he stuck some stuff down because there is this significant large line of sight blocking terrain pieces in the way, eyeing up all the angles very, very carefully. In return, I kind of split my army into 2, Poxwalkers and Plague Marines here with 1 Malignant Plaguecaster, Poxwalkers, Plague Marines over there with 1 Malignant Plaguecaster, spreading out across the line, sitting on 1 objective over there. Dave's got this objective here, nothing up there yet. And I've got my Blightlord Terminators in reserve, ready to teleport into this battle grid. Cleanse and capture, the person who deploys first is supposed to go first, but we'll do the chapter approved thingy bob. Okay, so if you roll a dice, because I put my stuff down first, roll a dice, see what you get, and then you get a 1. So if I roll a 1, I add +1 to that dice roll. I've got a 5, I'll be going first, unless you want to steal from me. Steal the initiative, and stealing's bad, Dave. You shouldn't steal.
Not in this instance.
And that's a 6. The SM Battle Report logo pops up. Tyranids, turn 1. Here are the orders from the Hive Mind. Secure objective 2. Dominate the battlefield and pull off a psychic power and master the warp. Here we are after the movement phase for the Tyranids. Of course, the swarm at the back, staying here for deep strike denial purposes. This is Old One Eye, and there's objective 2, so that's a guaranteed point at the end of this turn, along with this Carnifex Brood shoving up the table, and the Hive Tyrant Warlord for this army swoops in and has joined the battle. Now, Wobbly Model Syndrome. This would be a 9-inch charge normally, but 8 inches because you've got what on him?
Adrenal glands.
Adrenal glands. So what we're going to do is, so long as he gets to the base of this thing and rolls an 8, with a reroll, because of Behemoth, he could potentially charge and smash that Fetid Bloat Drone in turn 1. And of course the Hive Crone as well, it is a Hive Crone, right, not a Harpy, can move 30 inches, is zipped straight up the gut, and is looking at one of the castles there, and the Morlock has popped up. Subterraneous Assault has come up from underground within more than an inch away from enemy models. It can do that. One of the few models in Warhammer 40k that can deep strike in closer than 9 inches. Both of the Ripper Swarms are still in reserve. The Gargoyles are still in reserve, which is very interesting. It's nice to have options in your pocket for later game turns. And then we have the Tyrannifex and another swarm busting around this side of the terrain. So that's it for the Tyranids. Right, at the end of the movement phase, you roll for every enemy unit within 2 inches of the Morlock. So let's roll for this thing first. And that's a 5. What does that mean?
It's D3 mortal wounds.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that's 2 mortal wounds straight away. Disgustingly resilient. I take 2 mortal wounds. I think they start off with, I don't know how many. We'll figure it out. On the other one, What does that do?
That's a flat 3 mortal wounds.
That's a flat 3 mortal wounds. So nice. 3 disgustingly resilience. I make 2 of them. This one takes 2. That one takes 1. And the Plague Marines. That's a flat 3 mortal wounds as well. So disgustingly resilient. I make all of them on the Plague Marines. Who'd have thunk it? Right, now the psychic phase. The Broodlord, which is there, is casting the horror on the Plague Burst Crawler. So what do you need for this?
6.
Okay. And that's a 7. Do I wish to deny that? Because my Malignant Plaguecaster is sat right in front of it. What does the horror do?
It's -1 to hit.
-1 to hit. They already hitting on 4s. And that means they'll be hitting on 5s. Yeah, let's try and deny that. I need an 8. I don't deny it. Right, what else are we doing?
The Hive Tyrant is going to try and cast Psychic Scream on a 5
Okay.
against the drone.
That's a Perils and a pass. So what are you doing? You're going to re-roll?
I am going to re-roll.
Re-roll it, okay. So it passes anyway, but you don't take the D3 mortal wounds on the Hive Tyrant, and Psychic Scream does what?
D3 mortal wounds.
Nice.
It's effectively like Smite, but it does more against Psychers as well.
Okay. So that's 2 mortal wounds, disgustingly resilient on the drone. And I make both of them. It doesn't do any damage anyway. It costs you a command point. That's 2 psychic powers. So if you pull 1 more off, have you got any more psychers?
He can cast 2 powers.
Can he?
He can.
Okay.
So he's going to cast Catalyst on himself.
Okay. And that's a 5. What did you need?
I needed a 6.
You needed a 6, and you've already spent a command point in the psychic phase. Because if you could have re-rolled that, that would have been 3 psychic powers, and that would have been D3 points for Master of the Warp. As it is, that's just 2 psychic powers and 1 for Master of the Warp. But what? No, you're thinking.
I am thinking. It doesn't happen very often.
Right.
But there is a stratagem I can use.
Yes.
Called Power of the Hive Mind, which allows a Psyker that's already cast a power, which he did with Psychic Scream, to cast an additional power.
Okay.
And he has got the Smite as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the command point for that.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and cast Smite, all to try and get a victory point.
I like it, yeah. And Smite fails. And Smite fails.
Oh, well, the thinking was there.
The thinking was there. I liked your thinking, but 2 command points burn in the psychic phase for no return. Right, onto the shooting phase. Should have mentioned that there was a lot of advancing going on during the movement phase here. That's why the Nids are a lot closer than they should. A lot of the little bugs out of range, but the Hive Crone can shoot. So draw cannon and something into the Poxwalkers.
Yeah, drill cannon and Stinger Salvo.
And the Tentaclids into the Bloat Drone. So what are we firing first, sir?
We'll go for the 4 Tentaclids.
4 Tentaclids, hitting on...
4s.
Okay.
Re-rolling against targets with the fly keyword.
Yes, it definitely has the fly keyword. So 1 hit.
Yeah.
Strength 5.
Yes, but on a 4+, is it a vehicle?
It is a vehicle.
It is a vehicle. On a 4+, it does a mortal wound in addition to any other damage.
Nice. That's not a 4+, that's a 3. Draw cannon now, D6 shots. That's 4 auto hits, I believe.
It is.
And strength something, wounding on toughness 3. I think.
Strength 6, -1 AP.
Yeah, okay, so wounding on 2s, -1 AP. They don't have an armor save, but they do have disgustingly resilient Poxwalkers. And 2 of them die. And then you've got something else.
Stinger Salvos.
Stinger Salvo hitting on 4s.
Hitting on 4s.
3 hits.
Strength 5.
Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. 2 disgustingly resilient, so they 1 damage each.
They
So I didn't make any of them, so losing 4 Poxwalkers in total there. Okay, so the Hive Crone picking on the Poxwalkers and the Bloat Drone there, doing very little damage. And then we had some small arms fire, some random Death Spitters that were in range and could see, firing out across the battle grid. And I think 1 more Poxwalker fell. And that's it. Now we're on to the charge phase. So in the charge phase, the Hive Crone's charging the Poxwalkers. They have no overwatch, so it's straight in there. This thing deployed more than 9 inches away from the fetid Bloat Drone and is declaring the Bloat Drone, and the Bloat Drone's Plague Spitters are 9 inches, so I can't overwatch. So no overwatch from me at all. Let's just see if you can roll that magic 8. And that's a 12. He wants it. The Warlord comes smashing in. Right, starting off the fight phase, the Hive Crone. 3 attacks, hitting on 4s with the Scything Wings. And 2 hits, and your strength 6 on toughness 3. So winning on 2s. 1 wound. That does D3 damage, which is 3 damage, 3 disgustingly resilience on 1 Poxwalker, and he's dead. And then you have a tail attack, which hits on a 4, which hits, and wounds. And how much damage does that do?
D3.
Does it? Another 3, disgustingly resilience. Yeah, and another 1. Yep, so 2 Poxwalkers get smushed. On from the Hive Crone, on to the Hive Tyrant versus my Fetid Bloat Drone. And you spend a command point for Ferocious Appetite, which is reroll all wounds. Is that right? Reroll all failed wound rolls. I like it. Right, how many attacks?
5 with his Scythes of Tyran.
Okay, Scythes of Tyran hitting on 2s, I assume?
Yes.
They all hit.
Oh.
Strength.
Strength 7 now, because it's +1 strength.
Okay, toughness 7, but re-rolling failed wounds. So 1 so far, and then the re-roll. Hopefully this command point will... Yeah, that transfers it up to 4.
And the 6s cause 1 additional damage as well.
Do they?
Yes. So
okay, so let's roll these ones that are not... I've got 5 up invulnerable saves, essentially. 2 with the normal ones, and a block 1, and then 2 with the additional damage. And I don't block any. So how much damage is that in total?
11.
11 damage. Okay. It's only got 10 wounds. I need to make 11 disgustingly resilience, or at least more than 1. And I make 1, 2, 3, 4. So I ignore 4 of those wounds and take 7 damage. Then his tail attack strikes, hitting on a 2. Which hits, and its strength.
6.
And you wound. And minus what AP? 0 AP, so I have a 3-up save, which I make. Okay, after all charging models are fought, I select a unit and then I fight. So the Poxwalkers have piled in. There's 13 of them there, they have 2 attacks each. So this is 26 attacks. Now they would be hitting on 5s, but because there's more than 10 of them, they have a rule which means they're hitting on 4s. Hitting on 4s, 26 times. 1 hit the floor. Let's re-roll that one. That was really bad. I have 26 attacks, hitting on 4s. I got 7 hits. And I'm strength 3, a toughness 6, so I need 6s to wound. I get 1. There's 1 there. What's your save?
4+.
I cause a wound. Yay. Then on to my Fetid Bloat Drone. He's got 3 wounds left, so he's only got 2 attacks instead of the usual 3. He's hitting on 4s all the time though. 1 hit. His strength is now 5, so I'm wounding on 5s. And that's a wound. And it's minus 2 AP, sir.
I'll use his 4+ invulnerable.
Yes. 4+ invuln, which you fail. And this does D3 damage for 1.
Catalyst?
Catalyst.
No.
Nope. Now that would be the end of the fight phase, but spending 3 command points for Adrenaline Surge. This means you get to pick a unit and fight again, right?
Yes.
So the Hive Tyrant is going to try and fight this Fetid Bloat Drone one more time, looking for first blood here, but 3 command points this cost. Okay, hitting on 2s. And they all hit.
And the 6 is a roll for an additional hit.
Nice. So extra hits. I like it. Lots of hits. Strength 7, toughness 7, 4s. And you can reroll wounds because that original command point that you spend was until the end of the phase. So that one for rerolling wounds is still in effect. Yeah. Right, so I'll roll that one separately. These are 5 up in... Thank you. These are 5 up invulnerable saves. And I make 2. And this one, 5 up invulnerable save. And I make that one. Oh. So 2 get through. And what is it? D3 damage each?
Flat 3.
Flat 3. So I've got 3 wounds left. I have 6 disgustingly resilience to make. You look nervous.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You've seen my dice rolling. He's dead. I failed 5 times and it blows up on a 6.
4.
On a 4, you're right. Putrescent explosion. He goes pop. So him going pop is not good because there's a lot of units here. He's got Catalyst on, so he'll ignore it on a 5 up. He doesn't ignore it, he takes a wound. Your Morlock takes a wound. And then you do a wound to the Plague Marines, a wound to, let's 5 up on the Plague Marines. And they ignore it. The Plague Surgeon's in there as well, 5 up. He definitely takes a wound. No, that's fine. The Malignant Plaguecaster, my Warlord's in there. He takes a wound. And the Poxwalkers. Oh no, they're fine. So the bloat drone has gone and a detonation of pus and filth showers in amongst the Death Guard lines. And the Tyranids have 3 points. They've got First Blood, they've mastered the warp, they've secured Objective 2, and in return, this trifecta of 3 monstrous creatures has taken mortal wounds in return. So, with bugs already in the Death Guard lines, that's the end of Tyranids turn 1. Let's go on to Death Guard turn 1. Here are the first round of orders for the end of all things. Secure Objective 2, that's the objective that the bugs just took. Overwhelming firepower, shoot something to death. And psychological warfare, make the fearless hive mind run away. These are all going to be tough. Okay, that took longer than it should. This is the end of the Death Guard movement phase. I've decided to stay locked up with the Hive Crone, because that way you can't fall back out of combat next turn and then charge something else. This way it is still stuck there, and it's one thing that I don't have to shoot at, because if I pulled back out of combat and didn't kill it, then all it would have to do is move and assault one of my tanks, and then my tank isn't shooting next turn. Same with the Morlock needs to die, otherwise he can just assault one of the tanks, and then the tank isn't shooting next turn. And these things don't have invulnerable saves, so decided to stay locked up with that, because it won't assault. Then I can put lots of shots in at the Morlock, which meant the drone came this way to deal with a Morlock. The Hive Tyrant has a 4-up invulnerable save, and yeah, there's 3 things pressuring my lines here, so I need to do something about them. I think basically try and kill the Morlock, and if I'm remarkably successful, then maybe put some shots in at the Hive Tyrant, because all 3 of the Plague Burst Crawlers can see him. And the Plague Marines there are basically there for redundancy, I think. If I get him down to 1 or 2 wounds, then I'm probably going to charge in with the Plague Marines, because I'm that crazy. The Warlord is there. He's staying there. The other guy is here because he's now in smite range of the Morlock, and he can also see the Plague Marines to chug out some psychic shenanigans, and then this flank push forward because there's an objective there. So I've got to start pushing forward. I'm not happy with any of the choices I have to make right now. Dave is doing exactly what he should be doing with an assault-based list, pushing it forward, being very aggressive and forcing the opponent to make some difficult decisions. Anyway, let's go into the Psychic phase. All right, Psychic phase. This Malignant Plaguecaster is not in Shadow of the Warp range, so he's going to do Miasma of Pestilence on this unit of Plague Marines. I need a Warp Charge value of 6. That's a pass, and that's -1 to hit them. And then, come here, dice. The next thing I'm going to do is Smite, and that's a 7. So that hits this Morlock and does D3 mortal wounds. That's 3 mortal wounds. I like it. Right, on to my Warlord. I'm going to put Putrescent Vitality onto the Plague Marines. Now I am in Shadow of the Warp range. This would be a 6, but now it's -1. So that's a fail. And that's the command point yet. No, let's stick with that. And now I'm going to Smite, and I've got +1 to my Smite because of the Corrupted Staff. Yay, and a pass. And so this does D3 mortal wounds. So that will do 3 mortal wounds to the Hive Crone, and because of Pestilential Fallout, because I did it on a Warp Charge value of 7 or more, then after this effect of the Psychic Power is resolved, you do an additional mortal wound to the closest enemy unit within 7 inches. So in fact that does 4 mortal wounds on the Hive Crone. Ouch. Right, let's shoot some guns. The Fetid Bloat Drone, the only thing you can see and hit is that thing there. It's got 2 Plague Spitters. They hit automatically. This is the number of hits. There's 10 hits. I like it. This is Strength 6 versus Toughness 6. I need 4s. And I'm re-rolling 1s because it's a Plague weapon. So in the end, that's not bad. That's 8 wounds, sir, at -1 on your Morlock. It only does 1 damage each, but these are 4-up saves, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 3 more wounds. Morlock's got 5 left. So on to the Plague Marines. I'm going to shoot you. I've got 2 Blight Launchers. These set on 3s. Everything hits. And this is Strength 6 versus... Keep throwing dice on the floor. Strength 6 versus Toughness 6. 2 wounds at -2. And they both get through. And this does D3 damage each. You've got 5 wounds left. This could kill that Morlock. Doesn't kill the Morlock. It's got 2 wounds left. Plasma gun on the Sergeant. The coolant system is currently working. I am not overcharging. Hitting on 3s. See. 1 hit. Strength 7. Toughness 6. Doesn't wound. Right, let's rapid fire. Bolt gun death. 3s to hit. That's nice. 6 hits. And strength 4, toughness 6 is 5s to wound. 2 wounds. 2 wounds. You've got 2 3-up saves, 2 wounds to get through. And you save them both. Alright, we'll get back to you, Morlock. Let's go round to the front lines and fire the plague spitters of this fetid bloat drone into these bugs that are right in front of me. Number of auto hits. And that's 8 auto hits. And we are currently strength 6, your toughness 3.
We are.
So I will be wounding on 2s, and because they're a plague weapon, I'm re-rolling 1s. And re-rolling 1s. That's 7 wounds at -1 AP. Do you have a save at all?
Not against that.
Nice. Dave taking from the back there. I know some people don't like that, but the way I see it is the guys at the front died, and the swarm is always moving forward, and they're now clambering over the dead body of those bugs that died in front of them. Then the Plague Marines are going to fire in. Poxwalkers don't have any guns, but the Plague Marines are going to fire their Blight Launchers at the Tyrannofex and the Bolt Guns at the little bugs. Let's do the Blight Launchers first, hitting on 3s. Everything hits. Strength 6, toughness
8.
8, really? Okay, 5's to wound. 1 wound at -2, sir. So 5-up save, which you make. And let's do the little guns. 1 minute, there's a plasma gun in there. What did you say?
Overcharge.
Okay, hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Strength 8, toughness 8. That's a wound at -3. So that's a 6-up save. Which if failed takes 2 damage. How many has he got?
14.
14? Down to 12 left. And then the bolt guns from the Plague Marine smashed into the front line of bugs, and I got 2 wounds, and you rolled 2 6s, so no more little bugs died. So that's the shots over here. Now I've really got to think about where these guys fire their stuff. So there's a heavy slugger on there, strength 5, -1 AP, 36-inch range. The heavy slugger will slam into the little bugs. The big guns. No, I thought about it. I'm going to start throwing all the big guns, all of them, into the Hive Tyrant. I know he's going to save 50% of them with his invulnerable save stuff, but if I don't start doing this, mind you, I could, do I shoot at Tyrannofex instead? What would you do?
I'll go for the Hive Tyrant without a doubt.
That's because he's got 404 up invulnerable save. You're just saying that.
No, I'm not. He's in your lines, and he's the Warlord. That's always a point.
Yeah, but this one's bigger than him. Yep, let's start shooting at the Hive Tyrant. But first, Slugger into the bugs, hitting on 4s. 1 hit, strength 5, wounds on a 3. That's a wound at -1, so it just kills 1. And now I need to fire the entropy cannons at him. Now I'm hitting on 4s. I didn't move. 1 hit, strength 8, toughness of the Hive Tyrant
7.
Less than 8. So 3s to wound. That's a wound. 4-up invulnerable save on an entropy cannon, and you make it. Let's do the Plague Burst Mortar. Right, the mortar has D6 shots. 3 shots. Hitting on 4s. Nothing. 3 1s. Okay, that was the first one that fired. Did I just kill a little bug with that?
You did.
Okay, let's fire the other one. Slugger into the Morlock. And I'm hitting on 5s because you put horror on me, right?
Yes.
1 hit on the Morlock. I need another 5 because this is only strength 5. It doesn't hit. And then 2 shots at the Hive Tyrant with the entropy cannons, 5s. Doesn't hit. And the Plague Burst Mortar on the back has 5 shots this time. But I'm hitting on 5s because I'm horrified. I get 1 hit. It's strength 8. It doesn't wound. So that's 2 Plague Burst Mortars down. Now the last one we have checked, it can see him. And potentially, even though 2 of them have done nothing, one of these things could kill you in 1 round of shooting if you fail all your saves. I've started so I finished, so let's carry on. I have that sinking feeling. Sluggers into your Morlock. 3 of them hit this time. 5's to wound. I did a wound. And you failed the save, so it's down to 1 wound left, which is going to make the charge from the Plague Marines a bit better. And then let's do 2 entropy cannons on your Hive Tyrant, and they both miss.
Command point?
No. D6 shots with a mortar, 3 shots, hitting on 4s. 2 hits. I got 2 hits. There's strength 8, your toughness 7. I'm winning on 3s. I got a wound. I did a wound. 4 up and run. You've had to save. It only does D3 damage unless you want to command point that. That's where you look. D3 damage. I did 2 damage. I've done 2 damage on your hive tyrant. What? Catalyst. Oh yeah. I did a damage. I did a point of damage. 3 plague burst mortars firing at the hive tyrant. Did 1 damage. Lovely. And that's the end of my shooting phase. Killed a bunch of small bugs. Right. Let's charge the Morlock. Okay, here we are after the charge phase. The Plague Surgeon there went in as well. So let's swing away. I've got a Power Fist on the Sergeant. Hitting on 4s. 1 hit. Strength 8. Toughness 6. I need a 3. Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to do this with conventional weaponry. 5 left in assault. I left 1 at the back there because I didn't want the hive tyrant jumping in. 3s to hit. What am I talking about? 2 hits. I need 5s. Oh no. Okay. On to the next charging unit, which is the Plague Surgeon. Oh no. 1 minute. Just remember my Warlord trait, Arch Contaminator. So the Plague Marines are within 7 inches of that unit. So I can re-roll all failed wound rolls with plague weaponry. So I failed to wound with those 2 wounds. And I still failed to wound with a re-roll. Right, now the thing, he gets to fight. The Plague Surgeon, he has 3 attacks. He hits twice. It's a power sword type weapon. So he'll be winning on 5s. And he re-rolls to wound. Come on. That's 1 at -3 AP. And you've got 1 wound left, so you need a 6 to keep him alive. Don't roll a 6. That's a 2. He's dead. Does he have death throws? Does he explode?
He explodes on a 6.
Okay. Oh no. Right, so when the Morlock dies with death throws, he lashes out on every unit within 3 inches of him and does D3 mortal wounds. He's an angry bug. So who do you want to do first? Okay, yeah, on the mortar. That's 3 on that thing. He's on 10 wounds. 3 disgustingly resilience. He takes 2 more wounds. What next? On that Plague Burst Mortar. Okay. 1 disgustingly resilient. Nope. He takes a wound.
Plague Marines.
Plague Marines. 2 5-ups. Snake Eyes. And I get to re-roll 1s because I'm within 3 inches of the Plague Surgeon. And that saves them. The Plague Surgeon actually worked. So 1 on that one, 2 on that one, and the drone. 5 up? No. So 1, 1, and 2.
Plague Surgeon?
Oh yeah, Plague Surgeon as well. 1 on the Plague Surgeon. 5 up. He makes it. And at the end of the assault phase, it looks like this. You can consolidate 3 inches towards the closest enemy unit. Turns out that the guys up here, he was the closest. And for the guys on that side, the Hive Tyrant was the closest. So it allows me to spread out a little bit there. Trying to provide a bit of a footprint bubble from anything that wants to deep strike in, and that's the end of my turn. I did kill something in the end. I thought about assaulting with a fetid bloat drone up the gut, but if I got him in assault, then there's a massive creature that is going to just countercharge that fetid bloat drone, and I'd rather hit those bugs or hit whatever assaults me with Overwatch, because the Plague Spitters are auto-hitting weapons. Yeah, so I've got a bit of a footprint on this flank. There doesn't seem to be much trouble over here yet. And I say yet because there's some rippers and gargoyles that can still jump in. And over here, I managed to kill 1 of the 3 massive monstrous creatures that was rampaging towards me. And that's it. I don't get domination. I certainly don't get psychological warfare because of synapse. There's no morale test to make. And I don't get overwhelming firepower. I didn't kill something utterly in the shooting phase, so I get 0 points. Here are the orders from the Hive Mind. Dave ditched domination, and he's got Scour the Skies, kill something with the fly keyword, one of those bloat drones, Blood and Guts, and Devour, and essentially both of these are the same. Get a point if you kill something in the assault phase, get D3 points if you kill at least 3 units in the assault phase. Here we are after the Tyranid movement phase, and there is a swarm surrounding the end of all things. The Carnifex brood here advanced down the flank, this flank here. The Termicaunts didn't advance. The Broodlord did advance, but he can advance and charge. Basically, these 2 units, this stream of bugs can crash into the Poxwalkers this turn. The Hive Tyrant that was here has hopped up and around and can engage the Plague Burst Crawler. Remember, these tanks are pretty much the only things that can hurt these numerous monstrous creatures, so he needs to take them out of action. So with these bugs streaming down through this gap here and this hive turret coming in there is a definite pincer movement that's going to rip my castle apart. Maybe, unless I'm disgusting and resilient. The hive drone can't charge this turn because it broke out of combat. It has the fly keyword though, so it can shoot away at that fetid bloat drone. And my malignant playcaster, second in command, looks a bit stranded. And one unit of rippers has struck in there. He wanted to stick him back in the corner and try and tie up the tank, but they've had to come back there because he couldn't fit in all 3 bases more than 9 inches away from the tank. So instead they're right on the edge of the battle grid there. Talking about other units that he wanted to drop in, wanted to overwhelm this flank with gargoyles, but because I consolidated forward, a bit of canny tactics there, I couldn't fit in a whole bunch of gargoyles here. So instead they're strung out in one big line all the way along here. And the Tyranid has stayed still. Now, range of its gun is what? 14, did you say?
18.
18. And because it stayed still, that is 4 times D6 shots that can slam in the fetid bloat drone this turn. That could be a dead bloat drone. Starting off the psychic phase, the Broodlord casting Horror on the tank one more time. And this time it passes on an 8. I'm not going to deny it. You can have that. Next.
Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant.
Smite into the tank.
Smiting the tank. And that passes. Now I will try and deny that because I want to try and keep a tank alive if I can. No, I don't deny it. And next. D3 mortal wounds. That's 1 mortal wound. 5 up disgustingly resilient. And I am resilient. Next.
He will try and cast Catalyst.
Catalyst on himself, so 5 up ignores cover, ignores injury. You're in 24-inch range of the other one, so let's roll a 9 because I need to beat your walk charge value of 8. No, I don't roll a 9. Right, starting off the shooting phase, big guns never tire. The acid spray and the stinger salvo from the Tyranid slamming into that fetid bloat drone there. So 2d6 auto hits normally. You stayed still, so you get to fire twice because of a special Tyranid rule. Let's see how many hits you get because they're auto hitting. That's a couple of 1s. Strength 7, toughness 7, wounding on 4s. That's better. Right, that was 7 wounds. It is -1, so I do get a 4-up save, but each does d3 damage. So 4 ups. And that 4 get through. So 4d3 damage. I have 10 wounds in total. 7 disgusting resilience. And I make 1. It takes 6 damage. Stinger salvo, again it can fire twice. Hitting on 4s, however. And its strength
5.
Okay, wounding on 5s. 1 wound.
-1.
-1, 1 4 up. Nope. Damage.
1.
Just 1. Disgustingly resilient. No, I fail that. Take another wound. So the drone has 3 wounds left. Then it took fire from the gargoyles, causing 2 more wounds, which I need to save. So 2 3 ups. And I fail 1. Disgustingly resilient. No, so it's down to only 2 wounds left. Now the Tyranid Prime firing in. 3s to hit, I'm assuming?
Yes.
1 hit.
No wound.
No wound.
And then the rest of the Tyranid warriors over there will fire as well.
These guys down here.
No.
What guns have they got?
Just Death Spitters.
Death Spitters, okay. Let's see if they spit death. Is this 3 or 4s to hit?
These will be 4s. They should really be next to the Tyranid Prime, but that's my fault.
Oh, what? If they were next to the Tyranid Prime, they'd be hitting on better, would they?
Yeah, they'd be hitting on 3s.
Okay, so that was 4 hits. And no wounds. Now you've got Scour the Skies as an order, so you really want to take it down. So what were you saying? You wanted to shoot these guys?
I did with the Termagants because I can't really see them doing a lot against him. But
yeah, and your other guns over there can't see the fetid bloat drone, so now the Termagants are going to have to shoot him. So these guys hit on 4s.
Termagants.
Termagants?
Yes.
What
do you call Termagants?
I don't know.
They began with a T.
Yeah, bugs. Bugs shooting on 4s. That was only 4 hits. And I'm assuming the strength of their weapon is low.
Strength 4.
Okay.
2
2 wounds. That's enough. I've only got 2 left. 2 3-up saves. I'll make them both. Nope, that's not enough. The fetid bloat drone is still alive. You're going to have to charge him. Unless you kill this one with the other bloat drone down here with guns and stuff.
Yeah, everything from the hive prone into that.
Everything. Okay, so tentaclids.
4 shots.
And they will miss.
They reroll misses against something with a fly keyword.
Do you? Okay, good. Because that time one hit. That was as bad as my shooting phase. Strength.
Strength 5, but on a 4+ it causes 1 mortal wound.
Okay. So it doesn't wound because it's strength 5 versus toughness 7. But a 4 up, it does do a mortal wound. Yep, you're right.
Addition.
So I need a 5 up disgustingly resilient. So I make it. So Tentacles just bounce, I'm afraid. Now you've got your Drool Cannon, which auto hits for 3 shots. And this
strength 6
wounds once. It's minus something, which gets through. And disgustingly resilient, which does get through and burns away some of the metal. I've got 8 wounds left.
Yeah.
And what else?
Stinger Salvo.
2 hits. 1 wound. AP?
-1.
Okay, so that gets through. And disgustingly resilient. No! I failed to save both of them, so it's down to 7 wounds left. And then finally we had some Death Spitters and other shots coming in from the Carnifex over here, doing no damage against the Poxwalkers, and that's the end of the shooting phase. Injured both of those bloat drones, but apart from that, taking nothing else out. However, we're on to the charge phase now. This could be brutal. Right, charge phase, should have caught it on camera, but I took a few damage off one of these Ripper bases, and then they managed to get into the Plague Burst Crawler there. So that's one of them tied up. Now these Gargoyles are trying to charge into the Fetid Bloat Drone. You need a 9. And you can reroll that because you're Behemoth. And the Gargoyles do not get in. What else are we doing?
The Broodlord charging into the
Poxwalkers. Yep. And that's a 4. No, you definitely need to re-roll that. He's in. And the Broodlord ends up there, and then the Hormagaunts come... Hormagaunts come swarming in there as well. They only rolled a 7, but they have a rule which allows them to pile in 6 inches instead of the usual 3, so that there's a wall of blades right in front of me there. Right, you're going to charge in with the little bugs over here because you need Scour the Skies. So that's the Termagaunts against the Fetid Bloat Drone. So I can Overwatch with the Plague Spitters. They hit automatically. Let's see how many shots hit automatically. 12. Okay, 12 hits as the Plague Spitters just belch over you. But I'm only on 2 wounds left. So Plague Spitters fire at the strength of the model, and the strength is now 4. It would have been wounding you on 2s at strength 6. Rerolling 1s, but now I'm wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s because it's a plague weapon, and I get A1. So in the end, that many wounds, that's 10 wounds at -1 AP. These guys have a 6-up save, so 10 of them just fall. That leaves only 2 little bugs locked up with that Fetid Bloat Drone there, because Dave was going for Scour the Skies, so that could be significant. That could be preventing a point by getting so many auto hits with the Plague Spitters there. I like it. Dave, not so much. Then after that charge in the centre of the table, we came back over here, and the Hive Tyrant went wheeling into this Plague Burst Mortar, and I managed to take 2 wounds off of him on Overwatch before he came crashing in. He's got 7 wounds left. He's not degraded yet, but he's very, very angry I shot him. Anyway, let's go on to the fight phase. Right, fight phase. Pick a charging unit and select it to go first. So you're picking the Hive Tyrant one more time and playing the Voracious Appetite one more time, so you can reroll all your wounds. This is to hit. All 5 hit, and your strength 7, toughness 8.
It's a 6. So
that's 6, get another hit. Okay, there you go. So 6 hits out of 5, not bad. Strength 7, toughness 8. 5's to wound with a reroll because of Voracious Appetite. Cool. So 5 get through. What's the AP of this again?
-3.
-3.
Those
so
6s will cause extra damage.
Yes. So 5 up in Bun. I make 1, and 5 up in Bun on these 2. I make none. So how much damage is that in the end?
11.
11. 8 wounds left, 11 damage caused, 11 disgustingly resilience. I make 1, 2, 3. No, tell a lie, that was exactly the right amount of damage to kill the Plague Burst Crawler. Let's see if he blows up. He doesn't blow up. He's gone, and that's kill 1 thing in the fight phase. Now at this point I could spend 2 command points to interrupt and potentially swing back at this big mob here. But the Broodlord's going to kill like 4 or 5 of them on his own, and it doesn't matter how many of the little guys that I manage to kill. There's too many of them to make a significant dent. So what I'm trying to say is, even if I kill a couple, you're going to do enough damage to wipe out that entire unit of Poxwalkers. So I don't think there's any point in spending the command points there. There's no point in spending the command points there because these guys can't really scratch the paintwork. So we'll go on to other charging units now. Then the Broodlord and the Termagants, Hormagaunts had a swing and slaughtered those Poxwalkers with ease. And only half of them fought anyway because the back ranks couldn't hit. This is what it looks like before pile-in. Here we are after the pile-in move. Surrounding my HQ there, my Warlord. Keep making sure he's out of range of the Plague Marines so he doesn't draw them into combat. But that stops that tank shooting. Remember, this one is in assault, so that one isn't shooting either. The tank over here just blew up, so no tank shooting. None of my anti-monstrous creature firepower will be coming out in my shooting phase. Now we're on to the little bugs against the fetid bloat drone. And miraculously, they managed to take a wound off the fetid bloat drone. Now we're over here to the Ripper Swarm.
2, 3, 4.
4 attacks each, but they hit on 5s and wound on 6s. They did a wound. 3 up. No, disgustingly resilient. Yes, I make it. And that's the end of the attacks by the Tyranids. Not managing to kill 3 things in the assault phase for that extra 2 times D3 points, but certainly clearing out 2. Right, let's strike back. Right, this tank has 3 attacks back. It hits on 6s. 1 hit, and it wounds on 2s. Doesn't wound. This tank strikes back against the Termagants. Hits on 6s. 1 hit. Wounds on 2s. It does a wound. 6 up save, sir. I kill a bug. And then my Warlord strikes back with his corrupted staff. He has 3 attacks, Malignant Plaguecasters, hitting on 3s. They all hit. It's strength plus 2, so I'm strength 6. I'm wounding on 2s. And they all wound. It's minus 1, so that'll kill 3 more bugs. So I killed out 4 from this swarm. And then the fetid bloat drone has 1 attack back because he's so injured. He hits on a 4. Yeah, he wounds on a 3. No. And doesn't kill those little bugs there. And that's the end of turn 2 for the Tyranids. And so at the end of Tyranids turn 2, didn't get Scale the Skies, but got a point for Devour and a point for Blood and Guts. So it's 5 points to 0. And they're right in my lines. Gargoyles on this flank. The bugs coming up the middle with the Broodlord. And let's not forget, over the shoulder is the Carnifex Brood. And both of my anti-tank weaponry, both of the Plague Burst Crawlers have been shut down this turn. It's looking like it's desperate stuff already for the end of all things. Here are the orders for the Death Guard. I ditched Psychological Warfare. I've still got Secure Objective 2 and Overwhelming Firepower in my hand. And now I want to master the Warp. Pull out some Psychic Power goodness. Here we are after the movement phase for the end of all things, and a ton of bad options really. This thing pulling out of combat and the Plague Marines falling back to shoot at the Ripper Swarms. Need to clear it away so it can shoot next turn. That's that one dealt with. And the bloat drone hopping up from there over the top of the Hive Crone here to shoot at that thing. That puts a lot of bodies back here and hopefully protects my Plague Burst Mortar from getting shot at next turn. And also, I know there's another Ripper Swarm coming in, but this prevents any more Ripper Swarms. He's too close to allow the Ripper Swarms to do the same thing twice. So trying to protect that. Nice and simple, easy. And remember, if I kill something with Overwhelming Firepower, I get a point. The fetid bloat drone's on 1 wound left, so it's hopped up and over from its engagement with those bugs, and I've put a Poxwalker screen in front of me to try and keep me safe. Hopefully I can hose down those bugs, get a point, Overwhelming Firepower. Then back here, lots and lots of interesting options and thoughts to, Plague Burst Crawler falling back out of combat, my Warlord falling back out of combat, and the Plague Marines putting a screen around me to try and protect me from charges from the Hive Tyrant. I think the best option here is to put as much guns as I can into the little bugs, then charge the Hive Tyrant, which is not my first choice. But however, if I do charge it again, that prevents it from charging me next turn. Same story as last time. Need to kill these big bugs that are rampaging through my lines. And then the Terminators, where to bring them in. Thought about putting them over there, but they wouldn't be very effective. Instead, they've gone for the hero thing. Now, I need Objective 2, which is here. There's 4 Carnifexes up here. Not a very good, again, like I said, a best of bad options. But I thought I'd drop them in and try and blow one of the Carnifexes away by shooting at him, and then potentially charge another one and kill it by charging him. I don't know if a unit of 7 Blight Lord Terminators can kill 2 Carnifexes, one in the shooting phase and one in the charge phase, but I guess we're going to find out. So over here, everyone's in Shadow of the Warp range. Let's start off this guy throwing Miasma of Pestilence on the unit of Plague Marines. It would be a 6, but now I need a 7. And that's a fail. That was a 4 and a 1. Do I want a command point? Yeah, let's do it. Yay, that's a pass. That's a 9. -1 is an 8. You're going to need to roll a 9 to block it. You roll an 8. So you don't block it. And with Pestilential Fallout, it'll take a wound off that thing there because I rolled more than a 7. Right, now my Warlord's going to cast Smite. I get +1 to this roll because of the Corrupted Staff. And so that is a 7. Can you block that? You've got your Broodlord here. Broodlord's a Psycho. Yes. You need an 8 if you want to block it.
He is, because I don't think he's going to be...
No, he's not going to be in range of the other dude. And you block it. So that's blocked. Miasma of Pestilence from him onto these guys. Which one did I do already? Putrescent Vitality. I'm doing the other one, basically. See if this works. And that's Perils and a definite work. And so it is a Perils on a double 6s. I've already spent a command point to re-roll in the Psychic phase, so I can't modify this. So I am going to take D3 mortal wounds, but the Psychic power still goes off. So that's 3 mortal wounds. I have 4 wounds. I've got Disgustingly Resilient. I can survive this. He takes 2 wounds. But these guys are -1 to hit, and they're +1 strength and toughness. And because I rolled more than 7, you take another mortal wound. But I take 2 myself. Now I need to smite. I just checked measure range. I'm just outside 18 inches range for Shadow in the Warp. So I need a 5. If I get this off, this will be D3 points for Master the Warp. I get it off. It's D3 points for Master Warp, and this will do D3 damage to his Hive Crone, which is 2 +1 for Pestilential Fallout, so 3 damage on the Hive Crone. Finally racking up some points here. Right, let's go and shoot stuff. Right, I need overwhelming firepower, so I have to start off with these Marines to see if I can take out those Rippers there. Right, coming over here then. 8 shots with the bolt guns, hitting on 3s. What's their toughness, little bugs?
3.
These Rippers. Toughness 3, so strength 4, toughness 3, 3s to wound, 5 wounds. Do they have a save?
6 up save.
6 up save. And you make 1, you fail 4. So 1 was already wounded, leaving 1 base left. Blight launchers, 3s to hit. Ooh, they all hit. This is strength 6, so these are wound on 2s. They all wound at -1, -2, and they all do D3 damage each. So I kill the other base. Yay, that's overwhelming firepower. But again, if I kill 3 things, D3 points. So it's on how many wounds left? 2. Let's do the Plague Spewers from that into that. Auto hitting. 5 auto hits. I am strength 6, your toughness 6. 4's to wound. That's 4 wounds, sir. At minus, that was a wound. That's 4 wounds at -1. It has 2 wounds left, 4 up saves. And it's on 1 wound left. Actually, the Crone has a 4 up save, and at -1, that was 5s to save, which is make it even jammier. So, pistol coming in from the Malignant Plaguecaster. Hits. Damn it. Pistol from the Plague Surgeon into the Hive Crone. 3s. No. No. Okay, over here. So that I might have to kill you through charging you, and I really wanted to kill you in the shooting phase. We'll get back to that. This thing spewing filth over those 2 bugs here. So the Fetid Bloat Drone trying to clear out these bugs in the middle of the table. Number of auto hits. 6 auto hits. But I'm only strength 4 right now, so it's 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s. But it is -1 to wound, so that would be -1 AP, so that's 4 wounds on 2 of these guys, killing them. So if I kill this Hive Crone on 1 wound left, I'll get D3 points for overwhelming firepower, having killed 3 units. So this unit of Plague Marines will fire at the bugs, but I will put one plasma gun up at this hive crone here. I'm in rapid fire range, and I'm going to spend a point on Veterans of the Long War. That gives me +1 to my wound rolls. Now you'd think it would be an Imperium only versus Imperium, but it doesn't say that. It says just +1 to your wound rolls. I guess the end of all things have been fighting this war, fighting a war for a very, 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 very long time. So they know how to kill stuff. Let's see if they can kill a hive crone. So Sergeant, rapid firing at the crone. 3s to hit. Both hit. Strength 7, toughness 6, wounds on 3s. But with Veterans of the Long War, I'm wounding on 2s. That's a wound at -3 AP.
No save.
You don't get a save. I kill it. Does it have death throws?
It does.
Don't roll a 6, please. So the hive crone doesn't take out any of my stuff as it comes crashing from the sky. And then let's rapid fire these guys. 3s to hit. And it's strength 4 versus toughness 3. So it would be 3s to wound. But with Veterans, it's 2s to wound. So that's 5 wounds on your Hormogaunts or Termogaunts. Something with Gaunts. 4 die. And then let's fire the Blight Launchers. 2 hits. Strength 6. 2 more wounds, doing D3 damage a time. So basically 6 bugs die, and that's it. There's a gap appearing, Dave. Slowly but surely there's a gap appearing. Maybe. Right, on to the Blight Lord Terminators. I'm just going to curse myself here. New model syndrome. So let's fire all of my guns into this Carnifex here. I've got 2 combi plasmas in there. Do I overcharge them? Yes, no. I do. No. Yes, I do.
He's -1 to hit.
Why is he -1 to hit?
Because he's got... Which one are you firing at?
Which ones are -1 to hit?
All 3 of them.
Are they?
Actually, no, you haven't got a choice because you can't target him as a character.
Okay, so I'm not overcharging. I'll turn on the coolant systems on my plasma guns and fire into him. -1 to hit, so it would be 3s, but this is 4s. I could have... No, that would have killed one. Strength 7, toughness of Carnifex?
7.
Is it?
It is.
4s to wound. 2 wounds at -3 AP. And I take 2 wounds off of it. It's got 6 left. Right, let's fire some combi bolters. And 4s to hit. And 5s to wound. 2 damage, sir. 2 damage, 2 threat saves. I take another wound off. It's down to 5 left. Right, let's do some blight launchers. Please, 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 please. 4s. 2 hit. Do I want to spend a command point in this? Yeah, I do want to spend a command point. Another. No? Okay, 3 hits. 3 hits. And strength 6, toughness 7. I need 5s to wound. And it's a plague weapon. Blight launchers are -2 AP, so 3 5-up saves. Ooh, you make none of them. And 5 damage to get through. Each of these does D3 damage. Can I kill a Carnifex? Please, 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 please. Yes, I can. Yes, I get 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. That's a dead Carnifex. And apparently they don't have death throws, which is good. So I've killed a couple of big bugs this time, finally. And I think that was the last gun of my shooting phase. I'm going to have a cup of tea now and then think about the charge phase. Right, so charging wise, I think my Plague Marines have to charge your Carnifex, your Hive Tyrant. Does he have any shooting?
No.
No, okay, so let's try and charge in there. Let's see how far they go. They're going 8. So the Plague Marines end up there. Now the Plague Surgeon is going to come charging into this unit to stop them charging, because again they'll have to fall out of combat and you can't charge if you fall out of combat. Plague Surgeon goes 8, so that's close enough. He goes wheeling in there. And now the last thing, the Blightlord Terminators were able to kill a Carnifex by shooting it. Can they kill one by getting close combat and punching it? I need a 9-inch charge. And I need objective 2. For the, I was going to say for the Emperor again. I keep doing that, but it's not. It's for Papa Nurgle. Papa Nurgle. That's a 7. Command point. I'm in. Okay, starting off the fight phase. I'll start with the Blight Lord Terminators, and I spent one more command point for Veterans of the Long War again. Now, I burned through it in the shooting phase. It's now another phase, the fight phase, so I can spend it again. It puts me down to one command point left, but I really need to kill these, at least one of these Carnifexes, well, two of these Carnifexes before they turn around and smash me. So, this will be +1 to my wound rolls. And with Aura of Rust, for every 6+ to wound, the AP of their weapon increases by 1. So with the Veterans of the Long War, instead of a 6+, on a 5+, the AP actually goes up. Let's start off with the Flail of Corruption. Flail of Corruption, the champion has 3 attacks, and I get D3 attacks for every attack. So number of attacks is going to be, one hit the floor again, of course, is going to be that number. So 5 attacks hitting on 3s, and that is 3 hits. Flail is +2 strength, so instead of wounding on strength 6 versus toughness 7, would be 5s, but with 4s with Veterans of the Long War. And they are all wound. Now, it's -2 AP, so that one's a -2 AP, these ones are -3 AP. So 1 5-up save, which you make, and then 2 6-up saves, which you make one of them. That does a flat 2 damage though, so 2 damage down. 6 more to get through. Right, in this squad, how many axes have I got? 1, 2, I think there's 3 axes there. Yeah, 3 axes, 3 swords. Here's the axes. 3s to hit. 4 hits. And axes are +1 strength, so it gets me up to strength 5 versus toughness 7. So it would be 5s to wound, but 4s with veterans. And so that's 3 wounds. And I rolled a 1. It's a plague weapon. Reroll a wound. No. So 2 at -2, 1 at -3. They fail, and the -3, no. So 3 more wounds go off of him. 3 swords in that squad, that's 6 attacks, hitting on 3s. Oh, they all hit. This would be 5s to wound, but 4s to wound with veterans. Oh, and re-rolling 1s because it's a plague weapon. So that is that number of wounds. Now these are +1 with Aura of Rust, so these get straight through. They're AP -4. These are AP -3. You need to roll 2 6s to keep him alive, sir. That's a dead Carnifex. Brilliant stuff, guys. You may have just saved my bacon. And it looks like this. I don't know if I mentioned, but I made sure I was more than 3 inches away for heroic intervention there. I didn't want old One-Eye to come smashing back into me. Now, how many command points you got left? Do you want to spend any to intervene? You've only got 2 left.
I've only got 2 left.
No? You're not scared of the Plague Marines hitting your Hive Tyrant. So let's consolidate another 3 inches in. That'll bring him in and this one in, but not him. And then I get to fight you. Where's my sergeant? Oh, he's down there. That's fine. That's good. So 4 Plague Marines, normal Plague Marines, plus my champion with a fist. Here's the 4 normal Plague Marines, 3s to hit. And that's 3 hits, strength 4, toughness 7, I need 5s. But I reroll 1s because of it's a plague weapon. Oh, that's 1 wound, no AP. Which you pass, and then hit you with a fist. These are 4s, 1 hit, strength 8, toughness 7, I need a 3. That's a wound, 4 up and 1, which you make. So I don't scratch the surface of the Hive Tyrant, and then the Plague Surgeon into these guys here. He hits on 3s, 2 hits, and it's strength 4, it's a bubotic sword, and it rerolls 1s because it's a plague weapon. No, just 1 wound at -3 AP, cleaves through one of these bugs. That's the end of my charging units, then you get to swing back. Then the Hormagaunts pile into the Plague Surgeon. He's only got 3 wounds left. Let's see if you can take them out. He's hit on what? 3s or 4s? Or
4s.
4s.
Rerolling 1s.
Rerolling 1s because of?
Scything Talons.
Nice, I like it. That was 17 hits. Strength 3 versus toughness 5. So you need 5 to wound. Any rerolls with this as well?
Not anymore, no.
No? Why?
Because you killed enough to take them below 20, so we don't get to reroll 1s anymore.
So if they're above 20 or 20 more, it's reroll 1s. Okay, I like it. Any AP on these?
No.
Okay, so 3-up saves to keep the surgeon alive. He fails 2, disgustingly resilient. Passes 1 of them. He only takes a wound, so he drops from 3 to 2 wounds left. Now we have Hive Tyrant versus Plague Marines. 4 attacks +1 for his bio artifact, hitting on 2s. That's 4 hits, any strength.
7 with the
7,
artifact.
toughness 5, wounding on 3s. And AP
-3.
-3, so I need 6s. Nope. And how much damage does it do a time?
Flat 3.
Flat 3. So you're going to kill 3 unless I get disgustingly resilient. No. Disgustingly resilient. No. Disgustingly resilient. No. So 3 plague marines die. Then the tail hits, right?
Yeah.
2s to hit. 2s to wound.
No, it's just strength user, which is strength 6.
Okay, so that wounds. AP.
Minus something.
Is it more than -1? It's AP nothing. So I made that safe, and that's the end of that combat there. In fact, that's the end of my turn 2. We're on morale now. Everywhere the bugs are fearless, but over here I lost 3 plague marines, so I need to take a morale test. Leadership 8. 2 + 3 is 5. They pass. Then at the end of all things, turn 2. The fight back has begun. This is my ring of warriors, and inside that ring I'm safe. Outside the ring, the bugs are crawling all over the place. At least this thing won't be assaulting this turn. It can fly out of combat and do its stuff, but it won't be hitting that tank this turn. These Hormagaunts Termagaunts could tear through that Plague Surgeon, but again, they won't be assaulting this tank this turn, though the Broodlord can. This tank will be free to fire next turn, which is useful to me. So I've brought myself some breathing room. More importantly, I'm on objective 2. The Blightlord Terminators are stood on it, and I killed 3 things for overwhelming firepower, and I cast 3 psychic powers. So that's 2d3 points. Remember, it was 5 points to 0. So it's 5 points to 1 with scoring objective 2, plus 2d3. And I roll that's a 2 and a 1, so it's 4 points to 5. So all of a sudden there's only 1 point in it. Here are the orders for the High Fleet, and they want to scour the skies, take out one of those bloat drones, dominate. Cast 3 psychic powers for 1 point, and defend objective 4. I'm all over. So these are tougher orders than the last couple of turns. Right, here we are after turn 3 for the Tyranids. The Swarm, knowing the Blightlord Terminators are now on the table, they were here preventing deep strike shenanigans, now streaming back, because if that objective comes out, they need to climb up there and get to it, ready to score either of these objectives. That's a good call. And Old One Eye and the last remaining Carnifex are turning around to take on these Blightlord Terminators. They appeared in a flash behind their lines, slaughtered 2 of their kin, and they are going to sow sweet murder, I'm sure, amongst those Terminators. We have the Tyranid warriors and the Gargoyles pushing forward. Did the Tyrannifex stay still again?
It did stay still.
It stays still again, so it can shoot all of its shots again a lot. And it looks like those Poxwalkers and that fetid bloat drone are in trouble. I think you should be able to push through that flank this turn. I just remembered as you were moving around, I did have Putrescent Vitality and Miasma of Pestilence on the Plague Marines, and I completely forgot. But I don't know what was rolled, and I forgot, so it's my fault. It's got a sting, I've got to learn. So maybe I would have kept 1 more alive. And then we have the Broodlord going up the middle of the table. Are you going for the tank, or are you going for the Malignant Plaguecaster, my HQ?
I'd like to say I've thought it all through, but I haven't got a clue at the moment. I really don't know. If I go for the Warlord, it's a point.
It's a point.
If I go for the tank, I can potentially damage that and shut it down again.
Yeah, you could.
Whichever one I don't go for is going to kill me.
What are we doing psychic-wise?
Broodlord is going to cast Horror on the tank.
1 more time, okay. That's a 9. Yeah, that's really annoying. I'm going to try and roll a 10. I'll try and deny it. I don't roll a 10. The tank is -1 to hit. Right, next one.
He's going to cast Catalyst.
Catalyst on himself again. Ooh,
that's a fail.
So there's no... You need 3 psychic powers for this 1 point. Do you want to burn one of your 2 command points? No?
No, I don't
yeah?
think I do.
No? Okay.
Psychic Scream.
Psychic Scream. And that's at perils. Do you want to burn one of your command points now? So, what you're thinking, I mean, I know you want to hold on to a couple of command points so that you can do some more interesting stratagems. Are you going to take it, or are you going to re-roll one of those 6s?
No, he's going to take it.
He's going to take it?
He's going to take it.
D3 mortal wounds. He takes the full 3 mortal wounds. Do you want to re-roll that?
No.
Okay, so he's down to 4 left. He's not got catalyst, so he can't burn them. And that's the end of the psychic phase. All he did was horrify a tank.
And I did get the psychic scream off.
You did get the psychic scream off, yes.
2.
It does 2 damage. I have 2 disgustingly resilience. And I make 1 of them. So 1 plague marine dies. Right, opening on the shooting phase, the Carnifex firing everything into the Blightlord Terminators. What are we doing first, sir?
Death Spitters with the Slimer Maggots.
Okay.
Hitting on 4s.
Right. Yeah, 4 hits.
Strength 7.
2 3s to wound. How many wounds?
4.
4 wounds. AP?
-1.
AP -1. So 3 up saves. And I failed 2. How many damage do they do?
Just the 1.
Just 1. So 2 disgustingly resilience. Yeah. And they take it. They are resilient and disgusting. Carnifex also has a bioplasma attack. What's this number of hits?
Yeah.
Auto hits?
No, they're just D3 shots.
Oh, right.
To hit.
D3 shots, so 2 hits.
hits.
Strength. Strength 7 -3, so that's 2 wounds there. 2 4-up saves, invuln saves. And 1 damage, so disgustingly resilient. No, so one of them takes a wound. They have 2 wounds each. That's the Carnifex done. So the Carnifex caused 1 wound on the Blightlord Terminators, and now we have the Gargoyles firing everything into this squad of Poxwalkers down here. 20 shots, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, caused 8 wounds. Here are my disgusting resilience, and I make 4 of them. Not bad. Only 4 Poxwalkers fall. Then Death Spitters came in from the Warriors, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. That did 5 wounds. Disgustingly resilient. Make 2 of them, so 3 more Poxwalkers fall. And then the Tyranid Prime did the same thing with the Death Spitter, 1 wound, no save, 1 more Poxwalker dies. So I think that's 8 of them have got slaughtered in total. And then lots of them and an iron about the Tyrannifex, because it can fire twice because it stays still 1 more time. So it could fire 1 round of acid spray into the bloat drone and a round of acid spray somewhere else. The bloat drone's only on 1 wound left, but he really wants it dead. He's got Scale the Skies in his hand, needs to kill it, so firing both of the acid spray shots to absolutely guarantee the death of the fetid bloat drone, and then the Stinger Salvos into the Poxwalker. So let's see how many shots you get with, or what you're doing. This is the number of shots with the acid spray. Okay, that's 12 shots. And these are auto hits, so this is wounding on...
Still strength 7.
Is it? So 4's to wound, and it's -1. -1. So I need this many 4-ups. No, he's dead. He blows up on a 4. He doesn't blow up this time, but that is Scour the Skies. I jumped ahead a bit there. I've got Disgustingly Resilient. Each does D3. Here's some of the rolls. Look, yeah, he's definitely dead. Right, so loads of shots with a Stinger Salvo, twice. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s. 3s. 1 wound. Disgustingly Resilient. No, you kill another of the Poxwalkers, but they are mindless. They can take it and still stumble forward, chanting brains. Okay, so that's the end of the shooting phase. You will get a point for Scour the Skies. You're not going to get a point for Defend Objective 4, and you're not going to get that Dominate Psychic Power. So we're going on to the charge phase now. I think I didn't mention that your last unit of Ripper Swarms has dropped in the back lines there, thinking about Line Breaker later on in the game. I like it snuck in there. So let's move on to some charges. Who is the Brood Lord going to go against?
He's going to go for your Warlord.
He is. Pistol. I miss. He's in anyway. He's just over 2 inches away. And who's going to eat the Overwatch from the Terminators? Old One Eye or the other dude?
Go for the other one.
The other one. So Old One Eye and the Carnifex make it into the Blightlord Terminators. Interestingly, I managed to take 2 wounds off that one before it came in with my Blight Launcher on Overwatch. And now, of course, the Gargoyles got a crazy high roll, and they are swarming those Poxwalkers. They're going to be gone soon, and that flank will collapse. So with charges here, an assault with a Plague Surgeon in the middle, Carnifex is up here, the High Tyrant down there. The Tyranid claws are running slick with blood and filth and ooze. Let's go on to the fight phase. 20 attacks from the Gargoyles, hitting on 4s, and is that only 6 hits?
I'm afraid so, yeah.
What's their strength?
Strength 3.
Okay. Wounding on 4s. And only 3 wounds. Okay. 3 Disgustingly Resilient. I make one. They only kill 2 Poxwalkers. I've only got 1 command point left, so I can't interrupt anything. So from that assault over to this assault, the Hive Tyrant is degraded now, hitting on 3s. And I've still got Miasma of Pestilence in effect, haven't I? So it's hitting on 4s. -1 to hit. 1 hit. Nice. And it doesn't wound. Strength 7, toughness 6. That doesn't wound. Then you get a hit with your Pincer's Tail, which misses as well. The Hive Tyrant fluffs it. I like it. Gene Stealer versus Broodlord versus Warlord.
Yes.
That would cheer you up. How many attacks?
6.
How many attacks?
6.
Really?
Go on, ask me again.
He's tiny. Go on then. Hitting on 2s, right?
We are hitting on 2s.
Nasty stuff.
He's only strength 5 though.
Is he? Toughness 5, okay.
But we are re-rolling failed wounds.
Oh, okay.
And 6s are nice.
So that's 3 5s and a 6. What does the 5s mean and the 6 mean?
The 5s do D3 damage at
Right.
-3 or 4, I'll have to check.
Yeah.
And that's at -6, and he does a flat 3.
-6, flat 3. So let's do 3 Disgustingly Resilience because he's only got 3 left. I make 1. He's got 1 wound left. 1 wound left. So the 5s, I need 6s to save. And I don't save any of them. And they do D3 damage each. So that's 7 Disgustingly Resilience on 1 wound. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. He's only just dead. But he is dead. That's Slay the Warlord. Slay the Warlord. Now, unfortunately for the Broodlord, the Plague Surgeon is the closest model. So you have to consolidate towards the closest model. He's not going into the tank. Just realised we shouldn't have done the Hive Tyrant combat then, because you've got to do charging models first. But as I said, it's not like I can interrupt anything. And charging models wise, we're on to Old One Eye and the Carnifex versus Blightlord Terminators. So, living battering ram on the Carnifex, when he charges in on a 4-up, you caused a mortal wound, which you do. 5-up, Disgustingly Resilient. No, that will kill this guy. That was wounded in the shooting phase. And then Old One Eye has a immortal battering ram. No, and that doesn't pull off. Right, now, which one do you want to strike with first?
I'm going to go with Old One Eye first.
Old One Eye. He's an old man, but he can still swing his claws. Yep, 5 attacks.
Hitting on 3s.
Yep.
-1 for the claws is 4.
Okay.
+1 to hit when he charges is 3.
Okay.
+1 to hit because he's within 6 inches of himself.
Okay.
So he's still going to be hitting on 2s.
Still, okay. And so that's 4 hits.
4 hits.
Strength?
14.
14. Toughness 5. I think he's winning on 2s. Nice. I need invuns. 4-up invulnerable saves for my Cataphractii Terminator plate. And I make 1. How much damage does he do?
Flat 3.
Flat 3. So they have 2 wounds each. Disgusting Resilient on the first guy. Dead. Disgusting Resilient on the second guy. Dead. Disgusting Resilient on the third guy. Dead. Old One Eye takes out 3 of them. On to the next Carnifex.
Tail attack for Old One Eye.
He's not done yet. Old One Eye hitting more. He hits again with his tail.
Actually, that's the amount of attacks.
Amount of attacks.
Yeah, so it's just...
Here's another dice.
Yeah, that's a D3.
D3, okay.
And he hits.
And he hits.
Strength 4.
He doesn't wound. It's just strength 4 on his tail.
It is just strength 4 on his tail.
I don't know why I was worried. Right, this one. The other Carnifex. He's a shooty vex, so I don't know how many attacks he's got. But Old One Eye just clearing out 3 of those Blightlord Terminators on his own. He's not bad for an old man. Okay, 4 attacks with his claws coming in, hitting on...
3s.
Threes.
-1, +1, +1.
Okay. And that's 3 hits.
This is only strength 12 though.
Only strength 12. 2s to wound. 4-up invulnerable save. I assume it's minus a lot, right?
-3.
Yep. I fail 2. How much damage?
Flat 3.
Flat 3 again. Disgustingly Resilient. 1's dead. Disgustingly Resilient. Another one's dead. You've killed 6 Terminators this turn. Absolutely brutal stuff.
And he's got tail attack.
Go on then. Tail attack.
Just the 1 attack.
Yep.
Hits.
Yep.
Because of Old One Eye within 6 inches.
Okay.
Strength 8. Wounds.
Minus
1.
-1. 3 up. Okay. So my Blightlord Terminator champion stands alone. surrounded by 2 Carnifexes. It's not going to go well for him. Have we done all the assaults? We've got all these bugs going in to the Plague Surgeon. Hormagaunts managed to do 6 wounds to the Plague Surgeon, 6 3-up saves, and I make 5 of them. 1 disgustingly resilient, and I fail that. He's down to 1 wound left. And that's the end of the assaulting Tyranid, so it's my turn to strike back. This one's not in combat anymore, so it's my Blight Lord champion versus old One Eye. Yeah, number of attacks with a Flail of Collection, D3 each. That's nice, that's 8 attacks. I'm hitting on 3s, and they all hit. Oh no. Strength 6, I wish I'd have used Veterans of the Long War, but you have to do it at the start of the phase. Strength 6, toughness 7, 5s to wound. See, that's more me. -2, this one's -3 with Aura of Rust. So 2 at minus, no, so that's 4 damage. And that's another, basically you fail all the saves, it's flat 2 damage each, so that's 6 damage on old One Eye. I think he starts off with 9, he's down to 3 remaining. Right, after this assault here, we went on to the Plague Surgeon, who managed to slice down 2 of those Hormagaunts, and then onto these Plague Marines here, and I fluffed everything, apart from 1 Power Fist strike got through. So you need to make 1 4-up and vulnerable save, Dave, or you're going to take D3 damage. And you make it, damn. Okay, let's do some Poxwalkers. I've got 5 Poxwalkers left. That's 10 attacks. Would be hitting on 5s, but -1 to hit with Blinding Venom, so hitting on 6s. And I still get 3 hits in. And I wound on 4s. 3 wounds in total, sir. 3 6-up saves. And you fail 2 of them, killing 2 gargoyles. And with the Curse of the Walking Pox, that means I can add 2 Poxwalkers back to that unit. Now that's the end of Tyranids turn 3. They get a point for Scour the Skies and a point for slaying the Warlord. I have a leadership test to make here. And he runs away. That's the end of the Blight Lord Terminator champion. He's had enough battling it out with old One Eye. But you do get 2 points that turn, meaning it's 7 points to the Tyranids, 4 points to the end of all things as we go into Chaos, turn 3. Here are the orders for the Death Guard. Advance out of the deployment zone isn't going to happen. Kingslayer, take out that Hive Tyrant that only has 4 wounds left for D3 points. Now that's possible. And defend objective 4 is the objective in my corner that I'm actually sat on. That would be 2 points if I manage to hold on to it until the end of the Tyranid turn. Interesting. Here we are after my movement phase, and the Plague Marines are breaking out of combat, so I can throw all the firepower I need to into this Hive Tyrant and get Kingslayer. What could possibly go wrong? And then at least the 2 tanks can fire this turn. I need to take out this Broodlord as well, because he's going to cause me all sorts of issues. So to help out, I've advanced with this unit of Plague Marines here. Now I have a rule called Inexorable Advance. They can advance and still fire their assault weapons without the minus modifier. And the 2 Blight Launchers in there are assault weapons. Plus, they've started defending Objective 4. So that's it. Basically, this is my entire army. Throw everything down here at these guys and try and push my way out. But a potential to get a few points here and get into the lead. And yes, the Carnifexes are way up this table and I'm not doing much damage to them yet. But it's still going to be a few turns before they turn around and get into my lines now. It's going to be a few more turns until that Tyrannofex manages to get down further and bring its guns to bear. These mindless zombies can continue to hold up those gargoyles, maybe. So there is a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. Right, Psychic Phase, -1 to hit on my Plague Marines. I need a 7 because of Shadow in the Warp. And that's an 8. Would you like to try and deny that?
Yes.
You need an 8 because of Shadow in the Warp. No. And with Pestilential Fallout, that Broodlord will take a mortal wound because you're within 7. So -1 to hit my Plague Marines. Now I'm going to smite your Broodlord. Walk charge 5. -1 because I've got 1. I've got 1 command point left. No, not going to do it. That's it. That's fine. Just take a wound off of him. Has he got a save other than a 5-up invulnerable?
He's got a basic 4-up armor save.
Okay, so let's fire 2 Death Spitters in at him from the Fetid Bloat Drone. Number of shots. So 7 auto hits. And I'm strength 6, your toughness 5. 3s to wound. re-rolling 1s. So that is 6 wounds at -1. So 6 5-up saves. He takes 5 wounds. How many does he start with?
He starts with 6.
6. So is he dead? He's
Yes,
dead.
He's dead.
He's dead. That worked. That was dramatically successful. I don't know why I'm so surprised. So now I can fire everything from him into him. Now the mortar is minimum range, so I can't actually hit you with the mortar. So the mortar's going to have to fire up and over at this Carnifex. But the entropy cannons are definitely slam into the Hive Tyrant as well as the heavy slugger. So let's go with slugger. And this one is horrified, so I'm hitting on 5s. So 2 hits, no wounds. And hitting this Carnifex, number of shots. 1 shot hitting on a 5, no. And then 2 entropy cannons, please, into the Hive Tyrant. 1 hit, I did a hit. This is strength 8, toughness 7, I need a 3. I did a wound, 4 up and vulnerable save. 4 up and vulnerable. And he saves. Right, Plague Marines firing the 2 Blight launchers into the Hive Tyrant. It would be forced to hit because they're assault weapons, but I can move and with an X overall advance and still hit on 3s. So they all hit. 3 hits. Strength 6, toughness 7. Rerolling 1s because it's a plague weapon. 1 wound, 1 4-up in London, sir. Stop doing that. Okay, he's taken all this firepower so far, so let's fire the other Plague Burst Mortar into him. All guns this time, 2 entropy cannons hitting on 4s. Double 6s. Strength 8, toughness 7, 3s to wound for Horus. Both wound, 2 4-up and vulnerable saves. Can you make it this time? You make 1. You finally fail the first invulnerable save and the shooting attack. I think all the damage he's taken so far has been psychic. Now this does a minimum, it does d6 damage. How many wounds has he got? 4.
He's got 4 left.
And I got 1 command point. 2. I'm command pointing it. Last command point. No! Just 1 damage. Okay, let's fire d6 shots from the Plague Burst Mortar. 4 shots. Hitting on 3s. Everything misses. And the volley gun. 4s to hit. 1 hit, strength 5. Doesn't wound. That's it. That's it. That's so annoying. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase. Took a wound off a Hive Tyrant, which is very disappointing, but at least killed that Broodlord. Let's go on to the assaults and see what the Plague Surgeon and the mindless Poxwalkers can do. Right, the Gargoyles tear away at the Poxwalkers, dragging a couple more down. The Poxwalkers don't do any damage back again. The Plague Surgeon managed to kill a couple of Hormagaunts. They do 4 wounds back. I need to make 4 saves. I've only got 1 wound left. 3 up. Failed 2. 2 disgustingly resilient for the Surgeon falls. The Surgeon falls. And that's the end of Death Guard turn 3, and I get 0 points. I certainly didn't kill the king or advance out of my deployment zone, but I have started defending objective 4 there. So it's still 7 points to 4 as we go on to Tyranids, turn 4. So last turn the Tyranids discarded the Dominate order, and they still have defend objective 4 in their hand, which they can't do. An advance has popped up. And there's a unit of bugs all the way back there which won't be able to get out of the deployment zone in 1 turn, so that can't happen. However, area denial, there are no enemy units within 12 inches of the centre, so that's going to be D3 points automatically at the end of this turn. Here we are after the Tyranid movement phase, or Dave is shoveling some units around in the backfield there, but the 2 Carnifexes advancing down the centre of the table, Old One Eye regenerating 1 wound here, and the Broodlord moving around. He can't move very far anymore, but he wants to make sure he's closest to the Plague Marines for smiting purposes. And this unit of Hormagaunts can't squeeze through the gap because you've got to get within you can't move within an inch of an enemy model, and they want to assault the second in command. That's like a shut down the smiting stuff. So a real tightening of the noose here. And then we have other units advancing down the centre of the table too. And the Gargoyles are happy enough to stay locked up with those Poxwalkers all game long. This is the second front. This is the first front, and I still haven't fought my way out of it yet. If this first front down here can keep me locked up for long enough for the second wave to hit, it's going to be all over. Let's go on to the psychic phase. Hive Tyrant casting Psychic Scream. And that passes. You can have it. And that does 1 damage. Disgustingly resilient. And I save it. And now you're going to go Catalyst on your Warlord.
Yes.
Try and keep him alive. And that's a fail. Then in the shooting phase, Death Spitters from the Warriors and Death Spitters with Slimer Maggots from the Carnifexes come slamming in to the Plague Marines, and you kill 2 of them. And that's it for the shooting phase. 2 Plague Marines dead. Everything out of line of sight or range. Now we've got some charges coming on. In the charge phase, the little bugs get into the second in command, and now the Hive Tyrant going in against the Plague Burst Crawler to try and shut it down. Can I kill you on Overwatch? Entropy cannons. No. And the Plague Burst Mortar can't hit at this range. Here's the Sluggers. No. Okay, he's in as well. Right, in the assault phase, the Hormagaunts are now surrounding my Malignant Playcaster, making sure they're staying an inch away from the fetid bloat drone there. Don't want to draw it into combat. This is 18 attacks, hitting on 4s. And you reroll 1s because of Scything Talons.
Scything Talons.
Winning on 5s. Just 1. 3 up. And a 5 up. And you take a wound off of him. That Malignant Playcaster's got 1 wound left. He took a couple of wounds earlier on. Now the Hive Tyrant, yep, he hits on 4s on his lowest profile. No minuses to hit. Strength 7, Toughness 8. Doesn't wound, but at least you stop it from shooting. You got your tail. Do your tail? Tail doesn't hit. Right, my turn to strike back. The tank will strike back, hitting on 6s. Doesn't do anything as it revs its engine, and my Malignant Playcaster into these bugs here. 3s to hit. And 2s to wound with a Corrupted Staff. Rerolling 1s. 1 bug dies. Would have a leadership test to make on this guy here. He's fine. 1 + 2 is 3. They're fine. And at the end of that turn, you get D3 points for area denial. It's 7 points to 4, plus an extra D3. That's 10 points to 4. However, I get 2 points for defending objective 4. So it's 10 points to 6. And you've ditched, what have you ditched? Defend objective 4. So you're not going to be defending that. So it's 10 points to 4 at the end of Tyranid's turn 4. Need to kill this Warlord. If I kill this Warlord, I could win. Maybe. Let's go to Death Guard turn 4. Okay, I declined the advance order and scored the defend objective 4 order. Still got Kingslayer in my hand. Need to take out that Hive Tyrant. And with Assassinate, it's worth an extra point if I kill him. And no prisoners. If I kill a unit, I get a point. So just kill him. Really, kill the king. Assassinate him. No prisoners. Just take out that Hive Tyrant. How hard can it be? Start Death Guard turn 4. Then we remember the Dark Gargoyle Poxwalker fight. That continues. I've still got 3 dogs left in that fight there, as they're slowly whittling me down. And as for the rest of my army, everything is here. So the tank has pulled out of combat. My second in command, the Malignant Playcaster, can't pull away from those Hormagaunts there. He is surrounded. He can't climb up that vertical cliff wall. So he's locked in. And as it stands, I just need to throw everything I can at that Hive Tyrant. Starting off the psychic phase, going to do a Miasma of Pestilence on myself, the Malignant Playcaster. I need a 6 or a 7 because of Peril's Shadow of the Warp. So that passes, unless you wish to deny. It will do a mortal wound to that squad as well with Pestilential Fallout.
No?
Okay, so that goes through. And this is Smite. And I need a 5, and I pass it on a 6, but that is actually a 5 with Shadow of the Warp, and you deny that. Okay, so long story short, I'm -1 to hit with a Malignant Playcaster. I kill a bug in the psychic phase. Now I just need to shoot your Warlord. So let's start off with the Blight Launcher going into your Warlord. 2 shots hitting on 3s. 1 hit. I need a 5 to wound. That does a wound. 4 up and bun, sir. No. This does D3 damage, and you haven't got Catalyst. 1 damage. How many's got left? 2.
2 down.
Okay, Plague Spitters from that into that. Number of shots. So 6 auto hits. filth washes all over him. Wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s. Nope. -1 to your save, so 2 4-up saves. And you make them both. Brilliant. Let's fire these guys, because they can only see you. And I am going to overcharge my plasma pistol. I have to. 3s to hit. They both hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. 3s to wound. 1 hit the floor, of course. 1 wound, 1 4-up invulnerable save. You've got 2 wounds left. This will kill you. And that is a failure. That is a warlord kill. That is no prisoners. That is assassinate. And that is a cheer amongst the Death Guard lines. Death throws as he comes crashing down on a 6. No, he doesn't take out that plague marine next to him, which frees up the tank to shoot up the table at something. Let's see what I can see. Heavy stubber into this thing, or volley gun, or whatever it's called. The strength 5 1, forced to hit. Nothing. The entropy cannon's into this, should have declared beforehand, and the launcher is going to go up and over into that Carnifex there. So here's the entropy cannons. Both miss. And D6 shots from the mortar. 3, hitting on 4s. 1 hit, wounding on a 3. 1 wound at -2. -1 to hit for Spore Cysts. Everything misses. Everything misses. But I'm happy. That's the end of my... Oh no, need to do this assault. Let's do this assault here. And this assault here. Let's start with this one for a change. Because you haven't done any wounds to me in combat. So I was kept hitting you on 6s. This time I can actually hit you on 5s. And I hit you once. Strength 3, toughness 3. Don't do a wound though. It's your turn to pick something and strike back. Maybe I should have done my Psycho first, seeing as he's only got 1 wound left. Right, 14 attacks coming in, 7 bugs left. Hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. 7 hits, wounding on 5s. Is that 3 wounds?
Yes.
3 wounds, 3-up saves. Yay, I make it. Right, I can strike you back with my sorcerer. 3s to hit. And 2s to wound, and it's a plague weapon. 2 are dead. 2 of your bugs die. Are you in Synapse, actually? 12-inch range for Synapse, and the warriors are a Synapse creature. You are in range, so no morale test. You don't have to take any morale tests on your bugs. And now the gargoyles smacking back again, hitting on 4s. Hitting on 4s, 4 this time. And I have Disgustingly Resilient. How many's left there? 3. Disgustingly Resilient. I've got 1 left. They're mindless, no morale. They're still holding up those gargoyles. Okay, the gargoyles are swarming all over the last remaining Poxwalker there. We should have piled them in earlier turns, but you get our meaning. Anyway, it was 10 points to 6 at the end of the Tyranid turn, but I have got a point for Warlord kill. I have got a point for Assassinate and no prisoners. That makes it 10 points to 9. Just 1 point in it, and I get D3 points for Kingslayer, despite the fact that I've only got this footprint left. So D3 points, can I actually pull into the lead? Yes, I can. That's 3 points. So it's 12 points to the Death Guard, 10 points to the Tyranids. Am I going to pull out a fluky victory here? I'm not sure. We're about to head into turn 5. The game could end in turn 5. The Death Guard hanging on by their fingernails, their rotting, maggoty fingernails. The hive mind wants to take ground. They're already swarming over Objective 1, so defending Objective 1's going to be easy. But Objective 6 is in the Tyranid deployment zone, so to stay back and secure it will not get them advance, or advance out of it will not get them secure Objective 6. A bit of a conundrum. Here we are after the movement phase in turn 5 for the bugs, potentially the last turn of the game. Now these gaunts that were heading and advancing up the table that way have turned around to secure Objective 6, so there's a point. As for defending Objective 1, which will give Dave 2 points at the end of my turn, and that's Objective 1 there. You've got a fast unit, and my 1 Poxwalker is within 3 inches range, and he has got Objective secured because he's a troop. So all these gargoyles need to kill that 1 Poxwalker to guarantee your 2 points here. Meanwhile, the Carnifexes and the Warriors and the Tyranid Prime, that's the Tyranid Prime, right?
It is.
Are beginning to bust their way forward up the table. 5 Gants, still Termagants, other bugs surrounding the Malignant Plaguecaster there. And let's not forget the Ripper Swarms are line breaking if this game ends. That's another guaranteed point. So there is no more psychic pressure about to hit the Death Guard lines. Instead, the pressure will be all teeth and claws. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Old One Eye, of course, healing 1 more wound. And now the Carnifex trying to pick on that last lone Marine there with his guns, whatever they're called.
Death Spitters.
Death Spitters. Is that 2 hits?
That's 2 hits.
Strength
7.
Toughness 5. 2 wounds minus.
1.
4 up save. And 5 up disgustingly resilient. No, you do take out that Plague Marine. Now we have the Tyrannifex firing in at the Plague Burst Crawler. And this is the number of auto hits. You move, so just firing once this time. 9 auto hits. Strength
7.
Wounding on 5s. Minus 1. So 4 up saves. Each of these does D3 damage. I make 2. Fail 2. So 2 D3 damage. Wow. 6 damage. 6 disgustingly resilient. Fortunately, my tank has 10 wounds left. And he takes 3 damage. He's down to 7 left. Now the Stinger Salvo firing in. 2 hits. And no wounds. Okay.
And then the Death Spitters from the Warriors.
Death Spitters from the Warriors. 4s to hit. And 5s to wound. I'm thinking.
Strength 5. Yeah.
Yep.
-1.
-1. 2 wounds get through. 4 up save. And 5 up disgustingly resilient. I failed both of them. So it's down to 5 wounds left. And I think that's the end of the shooting phase. Okay, charge phase. Carnifex going in against the Crawler. Can I get a 6 with the Entropy Cannon? No, I can't. He manages to get in. Let's do the other gun. Oh, 2 of them managed to hit. Wounding on 5s. 1 wound at -1. No, you save it. And then you need, I think it's basically don't roll Snake Eyes and you're fine. That's a 7. He's in. And now Old One Eye wants to join him in. He needs a 6 to get there. And that's an 8. Old One Eye will get in as well. I think that's going to be a dead tank. Right, that's it for the charge phase. Now, let's fight. Old One Eye, Living Battering Ram or Immortal Battering Ram. Rolls a 1. No. And the other Carnifex. Roll a 1. No. So no mortal wounds as they come crushing through. Now, he hits on 2s or 3s or?
2s with his bonuses.
Yes. So 4 hits. Strength 12. Toughness 8.
He's strength 14.
14?
The same thing.
Okay. 3s to wound. Only 1 wound.
Only 1 wound.
5 up and run. What'd you make? Wow. Does he have a... He has his tail, right?
He has a tail.
2 with a tail.
They're D3 attacks.
D3, okay. 2 hits.
2 hits.
And
Strength 4. So.
And 1 wound. 3 up. Yes. And then the other Carnifex. This is interesting. I'd have thought they'd have smashed them. He's hitting on 3s because of Old One Eye. 2 hits. And this is wounding on 3s.
Yes.
1 wound. 5 up and run. No. And how much damage does it do?
Flat 3.
Flat 3 damage. Disgustingly resilient 3 times. I make just 1. It had 5 wounds left. It's down to 3 left. And then you smack it with your tail. Which hits.
Strength 8.
And wounds. And I don't save. How much damage?
D3.
It's got 3 left. And I've got to make 3 disgustingly resilience. It's alive. I make 2 of them. It's got 2 wounds left. Now, more importantly, all of these gargoyles need to kill that Poxwalker. Actually, we're going to go to the Sorcerer first, because after charging units, you pick a unit already in assault. So you've got 5 bugs around my Sorcerer on 1 wound left, 10 attacks, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s because of Scything Talons. That's a healthy number of hits this time. And I think that's 7 hits. And now you're wounding on 5s. Just 1 wound. Just 1 wound. 2 get through. 2, 3 up invulnerable, 3 up normal saves. And I make them both. Now it's my turn to hit back. So my Poxwalker is going to try and clear away some of these gargoyles. 5's to hit, and he misses. Now you strike the Poxwalker back. Right, not everyone can attack because there's only one Poxwalker left, so all of these are swinging in, and you've got to kill him to clear that objective. 4's to hit, and it's strength 3, toughness 3, so it's 4's to wound, and this looks like you're going to do it. You got 1 wound, unless you want to command point anything. You've got 2 command points left.
No, I can't command.
I've got 1 disgustingly resilient to make, and it will stop you defending that objective. 1-5 up for Papa Nurgle. The Poxwalker dies. And at the end of the combat, the Gargoyles consolidate 3 inches forward. Over here, I managed to kill 2 of these bugs in close combat, and that's the end of Tyranid's turn 5. I know the tank gets to strike. Let's do the... It doesn't really matter. Do old one eye. 6s. Yeah, 1 hit. And a wound. Threat save. No, I take a wound off old one eye. Wow. Okay, so that's the end of Tyranid's turn 5. You get a point for descent scoring this objective up here, which is 11 points to 12. You're 1 point behind. However, at the end of my turn, you will get 2 points for defending that objective there, putting you 1 point in the lead. And if the game ends, you'll get an extra point for line breaker, putting you 2 points in the lead. So I need to draw some good orders this turn and hope the game ends before this wave just keeps on eroding my shoreline of filth. That's a really weird metaphor, but it works. It works until this wall of bugs smashes me apart. I need some good orders. Let's go on to Death Guard. Turn 5. Here are the Death Guard orders. Blood and Guts, kill something in the assault phase. Grandfather's Gift. Basically, I have to kill something using a Death Guard model attacking with a plague weapon. So a plague knife is fine, but as long as I kill a unit using a plague weapon, I'll get a point. Its cure objective 6 is way up the Tyranid side of the battle grid. Right, here's objective 6. Not getting near that at all because I'm all the way down here, and now I need to kill something in the assault phase. And my second in command is locked up with those 3 bugs. Kill something with a plague weapon. Tank fell out of combat. Plague Spitters are a plague weapon. Plague Knives are a plague weapon. Plague Burst Mortar is a plague weapon. I need a couple of points. So let's go straight to the psychic phase. I know there's only 3 things there, but I'm going to risk a smite. And that passes. No denial this time. D3. That is 3. That kills all those bugs. Maybe I shouldn't have risked it. That's fine. And let's do Miasma of Pestilence on them. And that passes. And it also, Pestilential Fallout, because I've killed those 3 bugs, and that's within 7 inches, we'll put a wound on that Carnifex as well. Okay, now kill something with a plague weapon and kill something in assault. So let's fire Death Spitters from Plague Spitters from him into Old One Eye. Is that one Old One Eye?
It is.
It is, excellent. Number of shots, and that's 11 auto hits. Because Plague Spitters are auto hits. Here's 11 dice. I am strength 6, your toughness 7. I need 5s to wound. And I reroll 1s. And I just get 2 wounds. 3 wounds. 3 wounds? 3 wounds. 3 4-up saves. And you pass 2 of them, fail 1. Old One Eye is back down to 3 wounds. Right, let's fire bolt guns and blight launchers and everything at that other Carnifex. Okay, the Plague Marine's firing into that other Carnifex there. Plasma and bolt guns doing nothing at all, just bouncing. Let's do the blight launchers. These are plague weapons. 3s to hit. Everything hits. What?
He's got Sporsis.
4s to hit. So 2 hits. Strength 6, toughness 7. And it's a plague weapon. Doesn't do anything. No. Okay, this crawler can't shoot because it fell out of combat, so let's fire the other one in. 2 entropy cannons on that. It has a spore cyst on it, so I'm hitting on 5s. Both miss. The volley gun, 5s. Everything misses. And the Plague Burst Mortar, number of shots, 3 shots. Hitting on 5s. I managed to hit once this time. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. It's -2. And you pass it. I'm going to have to do it in close combat with Plague Knives. It's not over yet. Right, let's charge. here we are after the charge phase. The fetid bloat drone went into this Carnifex as well because it's a plague probe and it's a plague weapon, and I need to kill something with blood and guts and with a plague weapon. And then Old One Eye, who is a character, has heroically intervened. And so everyone's locked up here. Let's start off with the Plague Marines. No, let's start off with this guy because Old One Eye might... You've got 2 command points left, so you might pay to interrupt me. Maybe. Okay, force to hit. And everything hit. Strength 6, toughness 7. So I need 5s to wound. I get 2 wounds at -2 AP, sir, on your Carnifex. And they both get through. These do D3 damage each. Maybe I should have put some on Old One Eye rather than just him on the Carnifex and them on the Carnifex. But I wanted to make sure that I did this. Absolutely make sure. D3 damage each. And that's 4 damage. And it's got 5 left. So, yeah, 1 left. 1 wound left. Okay, Carnifex on 1 wound left. This is for blood and guts. And this is for Grandfather's gift. Kill something with a plague weapon. 6 plague marines with a plague knife. Gotta happen. 3s to hit. And I get 5 hits. This is 5s to wound, but I'm re-rolling 1s because it's a plague knife. And there's 3 1s right there. 2 wounds, 2 3-up saves. You fail 1 and I get 2 points. Please fail 1. And you fail 1. You have got 2 command points left in your back pocket. You have to spend it because I'm going to get a point for Grandfather's gift and a point for blood and guts. And that'll put me 2 points up and you're going to get 2 points you have to spend. Unless you don't want to.
I'll use a command point.
Use a command point. That's a 3. He's alive. Well, let's punch him with a power fist. 4s to hit. And 3s to wound. They both wound. -3. And you roll double 6s. And you roll double 6s and the Carnifex is alive. And that's the end of turn 5. Then after the Death Guard swung in, the Carnifexes swing back. This fetid bloat drone's down to 4 wounds left. I lost 2 in that combat there from the Plague Marines. Not enough to force a morale. And that's the end of Death Guard. Turn 5, and I get 0 points. I don't get blood and guts. I don't get that Grandfather's gift thing. Certainly not securing objective 6. And so the Tyranids get 2 points for defending that objective up that side of the battle grid. The Tyranids are in the lead, and the player who went first rolls a dice. And on a 1-2, the game ends. And that's a 1. And this is the way the world ends. With this Ripper Swarm down here with Linebreaker, it is a victory for the Tyranids. And a heavy, heavy defeat for the end of all things. Long story short, I didn't manage to get out of my deployment zone, really. Except for a unit of Blightlord Terminators that came in here and tried to do the heroic thing. And did manage to take out 2 Carnifexes on their own. But then Old One Eye and the 1 remaining Carnifex just turned around and ran them over, and by the end of the game they're down here anyway. I couldn't get blood and guts. I couldn't get that last. That would have been a draw. If I'd have got those 2 points there, that would have been a draw. Yeah, this Tyranid force just pushing on so much pressure, not letting me get out my deployment zone, and then the second wave hits. It's a nice list. I like the way it works. Second time I fought Dave on the channel, and he's an awesome opponent. Very funny to play with. I like it. How did it go, Dave? How do you think that went?
I actually feel a little bit guilty for beating your Death Guard. It's definitely an army I enjoy seeing on your channel.
Okay.
I definitely got lucky seizing the initiative, so...
Oh yeah, yes you did.
That really did help me out. And the fact that you set up such a nice board with all this line of sight blocking terrain really did suit my arm.
I didn't think it through, did I? I'm just trying to set up boards every single time that are different from other boards that have appeared on the channel recently, and that look interesting, that are appealing to the eye. But yeah, a full-on assaulting Tyranid army. Certainly enjoyed a board like this. Mind you, the Death Guard normally do quite well in assault. Normally, but I guess you just your army is all about assault. It's nice. I like it. Right. few more shout outs. This terrain is built by me. These trees are assembled by me and bought from all over the place. And this battle mat comes from gamemat.eu. I like this one. It's a nice neutral palette that you can put almost anything on. I want to thank Dave for coming down and playing on the channel. Dave's also a patron as well, helping support the channel, helping the channel grow. Dave is the only person on earth right now that knows about my secret project. But stay tuned and you guys will see it coming up in a couple of months' time on the channel. Thank you to all the other patrons for supporting me. Thank you for everyone for listening and watching, and happy wargaming.